Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me on Mindset Monday. We are back on Monday. I know last week we were kind of thrown off because we put it on Tuesday, but we are back with Monday. And I have what I feel like is, I always get excited. I get excited about Mindset Monday. It pumps me up. Like I can feel so like I can have lack of energy. And as soon as I jump on this and I'm ready to talk to you guys, I get freaking excited again. And then I have a hard time going to sleep. So I hope you guys feel that too. And I hope you guys are loving Mindset Monday. So today's Mindset Monday is called Knowing Your Gifts. And I am not even going to lie. I flat out jacked this from our pastor on Sunday. When I go to church, I always have my phone out and I have a little notepad, and I actually have, if you guys don't know, I have a podcast. And so I actually keep notes because as I'm in church, I am writing like, oh, that would be a good topic to talk about. Oh, that would be a good topic to talk about. I'm going to take my watch off so I'm not distracted. And so he's been talking about living an uncommon life, which I feel like is very, very relevant to our Mindset Mondays recently. We've been talking about living outside, like shining brighter, living in our purpose, and really working on becoming a better version of ourselves in 2020, where we're not full of the excuses, where we're not living a mediocre life, where we truly are feeling. You guys know the difference between when you're just barely making it by and when you are really truly feeling like you have your chest puffed out and you're like, I got this. Like you just feel it. And so that's what we're working on with this. And so he's been talking about living an uncommon life and the 5 G's to that. And I actually missed like the first 1 or 2 G's because it was Christmas. And so we weren't even in town. But I've picked up the last two, and the latest one were gifts. He was talking about our gifts, our spiritual gifts, which I loved because it related so much. Like, do you guys ever go to church and you're just like, God, like I know God's speaking to me, but this relates so much to my business? Like, can you guys tell me in the chat? Like, does that ever happen to anybody where you go to church and you're like, I know God's talking to me and I know that he's talking about my business for sure. So he was talking about gifts, and he, hold on, let me scroll up. So I have my notes. I was off on my notes here. And, we all possess gifts. Whether you believe it or not, you have a gift, or we can also use the word talent or a skill set, but you are gifted, okay? Whether you believe that statement right now, hopefully by the end of this, you will start believing that statement, because right now, some of you may not believe that you have gifts, or you may believe that you have gifts, but they're not as good as somebody else's, okay? And so what we're going to focus on, I want us to focus on the things that we have going right and not the things that we have going wrong in us. And I feel like our minds are so twisted. I feel like nobody ever teaches us growing up to have our minds focused on what's going right and not what's going wrong. And so if I were to tell you guys right now, list out 3 things that you are bad at, you probably could tell me very fast that these are 3 things that I am not good at. Like, I am not good at Instagram. I am not good at TikTok. What is the TikTok, right? I call it the TikTok. I am not good at Twitter. I am not good. I don't have a good fashion sense. I can't put my makeup on correctly. I'm not, I don't feed my kid organic food like Karen does on Instagram, and, all of this stuff. We can come up with way more than 3 as to what is wrong with us. I'm not pretty. I'm not smart. I can't do this business. I can't enroll a distributor. I can't enroll a customer. Let's go down that road. I can't build to Ruby. I can't get my diamond back. I can't promote. All these things that are wrong with us. And that's where we put so much of our energy and our focus. But whenever we speak that out loud, it doesn't sound right. Like, is that really where our energy and our focus should be? And no, we should be focusing on what's going right, because there are things that are going right, or that you are good at, or that you are skilled at in life. So you may not have the pretty, captivating Instagram with the model photos, but you have beautiful children. that you can showcase on your Instagram. Or you know what, you may not like to get on live and teach on your team page, but you are killer at making graphics, because some of us hate making graphics. And so you have certain skill sets. Everybody has certain skill sets, and we can apply it to our business and we can apply it outside of the business. But what our pastor was talking about at church, and he was talking about our spiritual gifts. We can relate it to business, but a lot of us operate at what he calls 10% capacity. We all possess like these wonderful, amazing gifts. We may not recognize them, but they're there. God gave them to us. We possess these amazing gifts, but for whatever reason, whether it's comparison, somebody else has a better gift than me, whether it's fear, maybe you're fearful of your gift because it's going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable. It is a path that you've never walked down before. Maybe you have gifts, but you have shame for whatever reason. There might be things in your past that make you feel shame and that make you feel unworthy of your gift. Or maybe you have some guilt behind that gift. Whatever reason, for whatever reason, we use these reasons to not use our gifts enough or to not use our gifts at all. Some of us just flat out don't even use them. Maybe we tap into them a little bit, but some of us are so scared we don't even tap into them at all. And we could be operating at 90 to 100% capacity. We could be operating at 90 to 100% within our skill set, but we choose to operate at 10% because we compare ourselves and we don't think we're good enough, or we are fearful of what these talents are going to bring our way. And we never truly tap into the spiritual gifts that God has given you. These are not things that you came up with. These are things that God gave you. And it's a gift. It's just like a birthday gift. People give it to you. You didn't earn it. You didn't earn these gifts. It's not like you can go be a good person and earn more talents and earn more gifts. No, you were born that way. Like the Lady Gaga song, you were born that way, sister. You have gifts. You have talents. And I'm trying to get my train of thought here. Okay, so you are capable of doing so much more with your gifts. And I feel like you guys put it in the chat if you're brave enough and you're vulnerable enough. Do you feel like you're operating at a high capacity within your gifts? Or maybe you don't even know what they are at all. Tell me how you're feeling. Do you feel like you're operating like within your gifts? Like, I know my gifts. I know them. I'm walking in them. It feels awesome. I feel passionate. Or I'm kind of confused. I don't really know what my gifts are. Or I don't think my gifts are good enough. I don't think my gifts are going to get me where I need to go. Okay. And so in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, and this is verses 4 through 11. So this is going to be for everyone who thinks that they don't have a gift. Okay. So if you don't feel like you know what your gift is, or you don't feel like you have any gifts, this is for you. Okay. So it's 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 4 through 11. And it says, God's various gifts are handed out everywhere, but they all originate in God's Spirit. Okay, it's not that they originate within us. They originate in God's Spirit. God's various ministries are carried out everywhere, but they originate in God's Spirit. God's various expressions of power are in action everywhere, but God himself is behind it all. Each person is given something to do that shows who God is. And I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna put my name in it. Okay, this is what my dad taught me. So anytime there's a name in the Bible, or it says he, or it says she, or a person, I want you to substitute your name. So right here, instead of saying each person is given something to do, I'm going to put my name. Valerie is given something to do that shows who God is. Valerie gets in on it, and everyone benefits. All kinds of things are handed out by the Spirit to all kinds of people. And who are people? All of us. The variety is wonderful. And I love the word variety. Another version said that all these things are produced by the one and same Spirit who gives Valerie what he wants to each person, like what he gives, what he wants. I jacked that up, sorry. That the Spirit gives what he wants to Valerie. He gives it to Valerie. He gives it to Ariana. He gives it to Marissa. He gives it to Liz. He gives it to Denise. Put your name in that. That was for 1 Corinthians chapter 12. And what I took two things out of this. Okay. I took two things out of this for us. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm like, I have all kinds of thoughts right now. I'm getting so pumped up. Okay. But the first thing is, if you read that again, it says, so if you don't think that you have gifts or you have talents, read that all through again, because all of it, it says that God hands out various gifts everywhere. It doesn't say that he hands gifts out to the rich. It doesn't say he hands it out to people who can sing, or he hands it out to the people who are pretty, or he hands it out to the people who are skinny, or the ones who are funny. No, it says he hands them out to everyone. It goes everywhere. God's various ministries are carried out everywhere. And that's something that took me a long time to realize. A ministry is ministry. It doesn't mean you have to go on a mission trip. I remember when I was 13 years old, I always thought that people who went on mission trips were better than me, that they were better Christians. I never was called. In high school and junior high, I was never called to do a mission trip. My brother was whenever he was younger, and I always felt like he was like a better Christian than me because he did the mission trips, but I truly never wanted to go. And now looking back at 33, it's because that's not my calling. I don't find joy in that. And that doesn't make me a bad Christian, because that's not my passion. Some people have a passion for mission trips. I don't. And you know what? That's okay, because that's not my gift. You want to know what my gift is? It's what I'm doing right now. What pumps me up, what gets me excited. I am a teacher for a reason. I'm a former teacher for a reason. And it's not a coincidence that I then developed a team that I have to then teach. I love teaching. I love coaching. I love mentoring. That's what brings me passion. Educating people is what brings me passion. But you know what? That may not bring you passion. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that I'm better than you. It means you have another set of gifts. But right here in 1 Corinthians, it says each person is given something to do to show who God is. So each and every single one of you has a spiritual gift, and it is meant to further the kingdom. Whether it's through your business or through church or through a friendship, you are meant to further the kingdom through your gift. So you have one. God gave it to you. So if you're telling me that you don't know what your gifts are, we're going to dig deeper and we're going to try to find them. But if you don't, you better believe that you have them, because for goodness sake, God gave it to you. What are you going to do? Tell God, no, you didn't give me any gifts? Heck no, we're not going to do that. Okay, believe it, receive it. So that was the first thing, is everyone gets in on it. Everyone benefits. Everyone has a gift. You don't reject it. It's a gift. It's a present. He gave it to you. He can't take it back. Okay. The second thing is each person is given something unique. Okay. It's not mentioned that one gift is better than the other. Like if you look through all the Bible, it's not going to say this talent is better than the other. This one is worth more than the other. It doesn't say that. So then why do we put that burden on ourselves? If the Bible doesn't tell us that somebody's talent's better than us, then why in the world am I making it up in my head that somebody else's talent is better than mine? Somebody else's skill set means more than mine. No. That's all the messed up, screwed up screws in this head. And we need to fix them, and we need to replace them with the truth. That's the devil. The devil takes tiny little lies and he's able to just tweak them around, where all of a sudden we run with it. And we go from, she's better at Instagram than me, so she's a better recruiter than me, and then she's going to have a better team than me, and she's a better leader than me. And then that means she's just a better person than me, and then she's a better mom than me, and God, I just suck at life, and then she's a better wife. And we go down this rabbit hole, all because simply we're different. We're different. And that's it. That's all we need to accept, is that we're different. And we should just end it at that we're just different. And we need to stop the comparison game. We need to stop it. It's just, we're different. End of story. End of story. We're different and we're done with it. It doesn't mean it's a positive. It doesn't mean it's a negative. Why do we make it a negative? Why do we go down that hole? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody has maybe a flashier talent than me. Maybe they're talented at singing. Maybe they're not afraid to get up on stage and sing on praise team at church. That's okay. That's okay if that's not your calling. Our pastor was talking about, you know what, if your calling is to sing on praise team, then come sing on praise team. But you know what? If you have a calling for the computer system, and being able to manipulate that. You're behind the scenes, nobody sees you, but you know what? That person who's running the technical stuff, they're just as important. And then the people who are dealing with maybe maintenance in the church, people who are dealing with broken doorknobs, doors that don't open, things that need fixing, things that need painting, they have talents. Y'all, I don't have that talent. Okay. I don't have the talent of maintenance. I don't have the talent of building. I don't have that talent. But you know what? There's someone in the church that has that talent. They're just as important. They're just as important as the pastor. They're just as important as the person on praise team. They're just as important as the youth pastor. Everyone is important. And we are the ones that decide to rank it. So if we're the ones that decide to rank it, I feel like we also have the power to be able to unrank it. Let's take that away and let's start looking at ourselves as unique. So if you actually, within 1 Corinthians, so I ended on verse 11 in chapter 12, but if you keep reading, it talks about how, you guys, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but hopefully you've heard it before, where the church is a body and the body is made of many different parts. I mean, if you took anatomy, Liz, help me out with this. How many bones are in the body? Like 204, 200 and something. There's over 200, and that's just bones. Okay, that's not including ligaments, that's not including joints, that's not including your connective tissue and your nervous tissue and your adipose tissue and all of this other tissue that you have on your body. There's so many parts to your body, and every single part is unique. 206, I was dang close. I hadn't taken anatomy in quite a long time, so I feel kind of good about that one. But every single part is important. Every single part is important. And you know what? And in the Bible, it says, but as it is, God has placed each one of the parts in the body just like he wanted. You are not broken. You are not wrong. You are not in the wrong spot. It says right there, God has placed each one of his parts. So you are a part. He has placed each of those parts where he wanted. You are exactly where you need to be. And then he says, if all were the same body part, what would happen to the body? What would happen to us? What would happen to us as a team if we all were the same? What would happen? Nobody would learn anything from anybody. There would be no growth within the team if we were all the same, because I would know what Marissa would know what Whitney would know, and so forth and so forth. But that's not it. We would be such a weak team. There'd be bickering. People wouldn't stay because everybody would know everything. We wouldn't have anything to learn from somebody else. So it's important that we are unique. And with that, so I hope I'm hitting that home, that we are unique. Okay, hopefully we're receiving the fact, we're getting rid of the thought that I'm not unique, that I'm not special, that I'm not talented, because it's flat out telling you in the Bible that you're wrong, that you are talented. So hopefully we're receiving that. But then there's a second part to this. Because now the question is, okay, Val, I maybe have some talents, but what are they? What are they? I saw it kind of in the chat a little bit. You don't know, maybe you don't know what you're unsure of what your talents are. So I'm going to help you. Okay. I'm going to help you hopefully find your gifts, and then we will walk in them. We'll feel more complete. We can work at a higher capacity. Okay. So here is how you can find your gifts, your spiritual gifts. The first one. Okay. The first one is your gifts will appear as gifts to other people, but to you, they will appear ordinary. So that's why you're struggling to find it. Okay, I'm gonna read that again. So your gifts will appear as gifts to other people. So I see your gifts just like how you have potentials, and you're like, God, they would be so good at what we do. That should make an amazing distributor. We see their potential, we see their gifts, but what do they tell us? Do they believe in themselves? Do they think they're talented? Do they think they have the skill set? No, they don't. And the reason they don't see it is because it appears ordinary to them. They live with it every day. Just like you have, I've been married for 10 years. Okay. A kiss on the cheek doesn't mean the same thing anymore as whenever we were first dating. Like, it's different because it's ordinary now. We've been doing it for so long. Does that make sense to you guys? Whenever you live with it every single day, you don't recognize it. You don't recognize it. And so that's probably why you're struggling with finding it, because it's ordinary to you. But just because it's ordinary to you, that doesn't mean it's ordinary to somebody else. Okay? So think about the things that you do naturally. Think about things that you do naturally. Think about things that you are good at. Think about things that make you happy, like what brings you joy, right? What brings you joy? What lights you up? What is that thing? If we want to relate it to the business, do running power hours bring you joy? Yes or no? If it's a no, don't feel guilty if it's a no. It's okay. But if running power hours brings you joy, then do more of them. Then that's a gift. That's a gift. Leading people, mentoring people, that's a gift of yours. What about the team page? Posting on the team page, going live in the team page, teaching people, hey, this message is working for me. Does that bring you joy? Because if that brings you joy, then maybe teaching is a gift that you have that you don't really know that it's a gift that you have. But if you enjoy it, I'm not saying you have to do it right. I'm saying, do you enjoy it? Do you find it fun? Because I know some people don't like team pages. I love them because I'm a teacher. I love teaching. What about planning events? What about planning events? Do you love team parties? Do you love team get-togethers? Do you love talking face-to-face to people? Do you love doing sip and samples and try-its? Is that what brings you joy? If that's what brings you, because y'all, that doesn't bring me joy. I'll tell you that right now. I will plan an event, but it's like pulling teeth. I don't like it. Okay. But you know who does like it? I can tell you right now, Whitney Slack. Where is she? Oh, she said relationships are my gift. I love people. She loves planning. She loves parties. She loves hosting everything. I don't. I hate hosting. Okay. That's something that she can walk in her gift in. That's a gift of hers and she needs to own it. So does that bring you joy? Let's talk about our platforms that we work on. Does Facebook bring you more joy? Do you like Facebook? Do you like Instagram? Does Snapchat bring you joy? Does TikTok bring you joy? I will give you an example. Twitter, hate Twitter. I can't do it. But you know what? I've been on TikTok for 3 days now, and I won't even lie. I'm a little embarrassed to say it's kind of fun, and I like it. It's fun. Twitter is like pulling teeth. I don't like it. But video, I love it. I absolutely love it. So what brings you joy? What brings you joy? Does encouraging your teammates bring you joy? That's something I struggle with, but for some of you, it's like second nature. What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? Okay. Now I also want you to be careful. Okay. Because especially when I said, like, does Facebook bring you joy? Does Instagram bring you joy? I know some of you guys do not like Instagram. Okay. Just because I'm saying it's bringing you joy, this is not we're looking for our gifts. Okay. I'm not telling you to come up with excuses to not work your business. So just because Instagram doesn't bring you joy, that doesn't mean that you ignore it and you don't work it. Okay. If messaging doesn't bring you joy, it may not be a gift of yours, but you still have to do it to be successful. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. But I'm going to come back to that. Okay. So I don't want you to confuse what I'm saying. These are not excuses to not work your business in certain ways. What I'm telling you is there are some things that you're going to be really, really good at that are going to bring you joy that you then can use that excitement to roll over into the things in your business that maybe you don't enjoy so much. Okay. And this is a common question that I get is about if I don't have energy, like I feel like I'm in a lull. I feel like I don't have a whole lot of excitement right now. I don't feel like working my business. How can I get back? How can I get out of my rut? And here's what I'm going to tell you. You need to find your gifts. You need to find what brings you joy. And you need to start with those during your day. So if encouragement brings you joy, then get your booty on Facebook and Instagram and start encouraging away on your newsfeed. Bring people happiness, make them smile, bring them joy, which is then going to bring your joy. You're going to get passionate. And then when you start to get sweaty and get that adrenaline, like, oh, that feels so good. I'm like, that's what I love to do. Now that you're happy and you're excited, now go do the thing that you don't like to do. Now go message, because what's going to happen is that excitement and that positive energy, those high vibrations that you have from your passion, it's now going to overflow into the thing that you don't like, and it'll influence it in a positive way. I'm going to give you an example of this. Back in December, my enrollments were not very high. I would remember I would message Liz and I'm like, I am working right now, but I don't want to be. I don't feel like it. It's just, I'm not feeling it. Cause there's sometimes that you love your business, you're on Rap Crack. And then there's sometimes it's like, ugh, I don't want to do it. So here's what I did in December, because I didn't want to do it. I found joy in my podcast. Okay. I'm not telling you to go start a podcast, but that's my joy. Teaching's my joy. I found something within it that when I was done typing it up, or when I was done recording, I was on crack. I felt high. I've had these endorphins running through my system. I felt so good after I did it. I was so proud of what I put out there. So what I did is, as soon as I was done with that, I would put it away. I'd get out my planner and I'd get out my list, and I start hashing out messages left and right. And I was allowing myself to take my passion and my joy and overflow it. And then I would work for like an hour and a half. I'd like ride this residual wave of adrenaline into working my business. And that's how I was able to stay consistent in December. And now in January, not to brag, my enrollments are killing it right now, because I planted so many seeds in December, because the seeds I was planting were positive seeds, because I was riding the wave of adrenaline from my joy. So you need to find your gifts. Here's another way you can find your gifts, okay? What do you criticize yourself about? What do you criticize yourself about? And Liz, I'm going to use our example because you were over at my house the other day, if you don't mind, if I can use that, okay? So Liz talks to me about how she said that she's not a good teacher. Okay. She's like, Val, you word things so good. Okay. Thanks. I was going to do it anyways, whether you said fine or not. But she was like, I feel like, Val, you have a way to talk. You have a way to put words together, even though I stutter because I get excited. Like, you just have a way about you. And she's like, what I feel like whenever I go live, my mind is left and right now. I literally have to have a Post-it note with my stuff on it, or I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. And so that's what she told me. And it's been like that for a couple of years. She says she doesn't feel like she's as good of a teacher. Like, she can teach, but she's not as good. And she's very critical about herself. But I reminded her after her last live in our team page, people were messaging her in the chat saying, Liz, that was so good. That was amazing. You had like great tips. And so do you see how the people from the outside were recognizing her gift? But because she lives in her gift every day, it's ordinary to her. And she was criticizing herself for it. And I was like, Liz, you're so critical because you're good at it. Like, if it was something that I wasn't good at, I wouldn't be very critical of myself, because I know I could be better. Just like if I were to go out right now and play football, I would suck. And you know what? I probably wouldn't self-criticize myself because I just know I suck. I never played football in my life. But if I went out and I touched a volleyball, something that I was a head coach at, and you give me that ball and I miss a serve, I'm going to be self-critical of myself because I know I'm good at it. I know I'm good at it. Or another example for me is whenever I record like a live video for my team page. Like, I know teaching is my passion. I know teaching is my gift. After I'm done with my live, even though people around me are telling me it's a good live, I learned so much from it, the outside's recognizing the gift. As soon as I get off, it never fails. I am now questioning myself. Oh, I left that out. Oh, I hope they learned something. Like, I'm over here questioning, did I repeat myself too much? And I just start self-criticizing. And that's because it's a gift of mine. If there's something in your life that you criticize yourself about, chances are it's a gift. It's a talent of yours because you know you're good at it. And that's why we don't criticize ourselves for things that we know we're bad at. We criticize ourselves for the things we know we're good at. And that one was kind of an eye-opener for Liz the other day. We kind of had this like epiphany moment that she just has a different way of teaching, but she is good at it. She is good at it. And it just took her a little bit to recognize that. And so anyways, I feel like I was kind of all over the place with this, but at the same time, what I really wanted to hit home is that we struggle. It breaks my heart when we don't feel like we are good enough. And this is a space within that topic of that comparison game. Somebody else, we feel like we need to be the blogger, model, Instagram, on Facebook. We need to be pretty. We need to have blonde hair. We need to, have super filtered, rosy colored looking photos on Instagram to be successful. And that's their talent. And just because it's their talent, it's a good talent, but that doesn't mean it has to be mine. My talent is still just as good. And I'm going to encourage you to go find what your talents are, find what your gifts are, be good at them, serve your team, serve your church, serve your family, serve wherever you need to be served, but then use that joy that you get from your gift and then roll it into the other aspects of your business. Remember, this is not an excuse for you not to do certain things in your business, because we still want you to be successful. Your talent may not be flashy, it may not be glamorous, but your gift is still required in order for you to be successful and in order for your team to run successfully too. That you're important. You are important. I think that's what I needed to say. So if there's not anything else, I'm kind of going through the chat. I'm going to end us in prayer, and then Whitney's going to take over the power hour.
Yeah, could I add something to what you said? Okay, so I wanted to just add this because you might think that all people who are successful in this business have the same gifts or the same talents, like we all kind of run in the same thread. And I want to be like, just give you an example. Like Val and I are both been in the business a long time. We're both presidentials. But we have totally different skill sets, like totally different gifts. I'm good at this for other reasons that Val may not be good at it. And she's really good at it for other. It's like she loves the team page. She loves to type up these amazing tips, and she's great at live videos. Like, I hate that. Like, I actually hate trying to think about how I sent this message and how I signed a customer. But I'm so good with people. I'm really I can be anybody's friend. I can literally walk into a room and you will think we will be best friends before I leave. Like, that is my gift. And that's why I'm able to do this business, is because it doesn't matter if you're shy, if you're introverted, if you're extroverted, whatever it is. I love you, and I think that you're amazing, and I know that we could just be friends forever. And so that is my gift, and that's why I'm able to promote, is because I'm able to connect with people and push them all towards the same goal, but through relationships, not so much great teaching skills. And so Val is so right that, like, it takes so many different type of personalities to make a team run. Like, Val's gifts help this team run in a way that I don't find joy in, or that I don't feel are great. I'm not great at, not because I'm saying negative things about myself, but it's just my brain doesn't really work that way. And so, but my brain does work like, hey, come over. Hey, you want to go to Starbucks? Hey, do you just want to Zoom and talk? Like, do you just want to talk on the phone? Like, tell me about your day. How's your life? And that's why I'm good at it, because I can just be friends with anybody. And so I just want to reiterate, you don't have to be like super talented with the right words, and you just have to just walk in what you were created to be. And I am not, I was a teacher, you guys, for like 18 months, and I quit so quick because I hated it. Right? So, but anyway, I just wanted to just give you a different perspective. Like, you can tell just from how I talk that Val and I have very different gifts. I'm like this ball full of energy that's just like, let's go party and do something. Not party in a negative way, but you know what I mean? Like, let's go hang out. And so I just think this is so important for you to dig into. And in each phase of your life, you're going to have different gifts too. Like, the gifts I had as a 27-year-old starting this business are way different than the gifts I have now as a 32-year-old with 3 kids. And so you might have had things that you felt were really great skills and gifts then, but maybe they're different now. And so just don't blow this one off is really what I'm trying to say, because it is really important. And you won't compare so much if you know that you're like, man, she is kicking butt at that. She is so good at that. And then you're like, but I don't really want to do that. I'm really good at this other thing. And the comparison will cease, and you'll start to just love yourself for who you are and not trying to be like anybody else. Anyway.
Yes, I love that. And then one more thing, and I know this is going a little longer than 30 minutes, like what we said, but within your business, especially if you have a team, it is important. I know we talk about personality colors, but this is kind of the same realm, a little bit different. But find the people within your team that have the different gifts that you may not possess, because that's what makes a good team, is when you can rely on other people to not necessarily pick up the slack, but you make the team stronger, because it's not just one. It's like what the verse said, there's not one body part that's on you. Every part of you is different. And so if you are really good at making stories and making graphics, spend some time making those graphics and bless your team with those, because I know there are some people who hate making graphics and they will love you forever.
I hate it so much. Like,
yes.
I'm so thankful for you talented graphic people.
And then those people are going to bring in, and Whitney's is an example. I am not very blue. How she's saying that she's like, I'll meet you at Starbucks. I'll meet you at this. I'll meet you at that. I literally have to force myself to get out of the house, because I just don't I have fun once I'm there, but I don't want to do it at the very beginning. And so she's my blue. So like when we're at conference, you will see me follow her around like a little puppy, because she's my blue. I will become blue whenever I am with her, but it's not a natural thing for me. And so I want you to hear me, that if it's not natural for you, find someone where it is natural, where it is their gift, and then you don't ignore it. You still have to embrace some of it. So like you still have to do things like message. You still have to do things like post. Even if you don't feel like social media is your gift, you still have to do it. You still have to work for business, but go pair yourself up with someone who is naturally good at that. Pick their brain, because you can develop those gifts. You're not going to be, they're not going to feel natural to you, if that makes sense. You have to work at them, but you can become better at certain aspects because you're surrounding yourself with people who are walking in their gifts. And when you walk in your gifts, that's where that joy thing comes in. And then like Whitney said, you're just going to feel more comfortable in your skin, and you're going to be able to look at people and be like, you know what? She may be killing it and she's working Instagram totally different than how I'm working Instagram, but it's okay. Like I'm really okay with it now, because I suffer from comparison and jealousy and all of those negative things that are embarrassing to talk about, but I say them because I know you guys have issues with them too. And right now, because I know I'm comfortable in my gifts and in my talents, it's like, I don't care what everybody else is doing. Good for them if it's working for them. But you know what? I'm feeling really, really good at where I am right now, because I'm confident in my gifts. So be confident in your gifts. And if you need help finding those gifts, do not hesitate to message me, please. I will do my best to guide you, or message your sponsor, or ask somebody else. Just ask them, hey, what am I good at? What are 3 things I'm good at? Because they will recognize it before you do.
Yes. I ask people that today. If you're struggling too, like with what am I supposed to post about? What am I supposed to be doing? Like, what should my content be? Don't be afraid to like ask people. I asked like 10 people today, what do you think? What do you think of when you think of me? And what's really funny is all of them said the same thing. And I didn't actually expect those answers, and so I think that's a great idea. Go ask, be brave, and you'll probably be shocked at what all the amazing things people are going to say that they get from you. And then you take that and you funnel it into your content, and that will really help you feel more powerful in your posting and who you want to draw into your business as well.
Yep, it's going to go down to everything. Okay, let me end us in prayer, and then Whit's going to take over the power hour. Okay, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I want to thank you for being here with all of these amazing ladies. And I don't know if we have any men because I didn't put it on gallery view, but God, you know who's here right now, and you know their hearts, and you know that they were meant to be here. You know that there was something within this word, that there's a reason they're on this Zoom right now, and they needed to hear something. And I just ask that you soften their hearts to receive it, that you have their spiritual hands out ready to accept it, and just say, God, what are my gifts? Because I'm ready to walk in them. I'm done with the comparison game. I'm done with fear. I'm tired of living in fear and feeling like I'm a failure. And I'm ready to shine in your gifts, because I know when I shine in your gifts, I'm going to influence so many people around me for your kingdom. Because in the end, that's why we're here. That is why we're here. It's not because of our business. It's not because of income. It's because we are here to further your kingdom and further your love. So just allow us to be a vessel for you to work through. So the gifts that you have given us will shine brighter because you are behind us, strengthening our gifts and shining as the light to shine our gifts for everyone to see, Lord. So I just ask that you bless these people that are on the Zoom tonight, that they walk in their gifts, that they walk in their purpose, and that they truly see the power that they have within them because you put it there. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right.